Is your phone on silent? Sure. Yeah. Hi everyone. Can you please turn off your cameras?
Hi, ma'am.
Yeah, I think that's done. Anjit, are we good to go? Hello. Yeah. ठीक है. Sure. Let me know when do we begin. Perfect. I'll begin. Just yeah. I'll give. Can everyone please turn off their cameras? Cool. I can see more people joining in. Sure. All right. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome all of you to FamJam 2.0, India's biggest digi-fest for teenagers. Now that all of you are here, you're inherently part of our big fam at FamPay. FamPay is India's first neobank for teenagers. With the FamPay app and its numberless cards, minors can make online and offline payments without having a bank account. FamJam 2.0 is FamPay's annual flagship event, and this year it was translated into India's biggest digi-fest for teenagers, with over 25,000 teenagers participating in it from all across the country. Moving ahead with today's event, this workshop is going to be on finding the lost cause, exploring unconventional career paths. And to conduct it, I'd like to welcome our guest speaker for today, Ms. Anushka Rathore. Anushka is a CFA Level 2 candidate with sharp skills in investment banking and portfolio management. She has recently taken to sharing short, informational, packed videos on economics, business, and startups that have been blowing up on Instagram. And she shall now be your guide for the next 1 hour. So, the fam is glad to have you on board with us, Anushka. We're extremely excited, and the space is now over to you. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for the introduction as well, Supriya. I'm so glad to be part of this event. Yeah. Okay. So, all right. Let's get right into it. Yeah. Hi everyone. How are you? I hope you've had a really nice Saturday, and thank you so much for joining us on a Saturday evening. It's lovely to have you all here. So, in the next half an hour to 45 minutes, I am actually going to tell you how I went about through my journey of where I am today, being a digital content creator from an investment banker, and also what processes and how I chose or how I came across this unconventional career path that I have, and how you can go about it as well. So, we'll begin. So, I'll start with my journey. If we can have the next slide, please. I okay.
Yes,
I hope
we have it.
it's there.
Yeah.
All right. So, growing up, I was actually not sure what I wanted to do. Every year, I had like a different passion altogether. From being a detective to being a pilot to being a space astronaut, I've had an inclination towards everything, even a cardiac surgeon for a point. So when I was in my 12th standard, I didn't know where to go. So how I basically entered commerce stream was that I gave exams for both science and commerce. In my 12th grade, there was an option we had. And I got selected in both, but then the commerce stream, the seats were full very quickly. So I thought, you know what, let me just go with commerce for now. If I want to shift to science later, the classes are empty as it is. So that's actually how by fluke I entered the commerce industry. And then, when I was studying in my 11th and 12th, I actually was not really sure of what I wanted to do. I just knew one thing, that I loved reading, I loved researching. And, because I, in my 11th, really did not know or really did not make an effort to choose what I wanted to do, I, just a moment, what I wanted to do, when I was graduating from my 12th standard, I made it a point to not go for my college without having a plan. I still was clueless as to how to go about it. So I knew one thing, I loved researching and I loved reading, and that is all I had in mind. My choice for college was the college which was nearest to my house. Despite scoring a 93% in my 12th boards, I got admissions into wonderful university, but I decided against it because I wanted to explore and know what I wanted to do in life. So then first year, I read a lot about stock markets, a lot about businesses, because that was something which was a natural inclination for me. It was not work. There was a point where I was studying 10 to 12 hours every day only because I loved doing it. So that is how I started reading. I was participating in conferences, and there was, in my first year, I attended an investment conference which had 200 people all across from India. They were all senior in mid of their careers. There were 200 men, actually, I would say. We were only 5 females, and I was 19, and everyone else was at least in the 30s or 40s. So I basically, that point in my college, I made it a point to get as much practical exposure that I could get. And that is how I started. Then in my second year, I started cold calling, and also through the investment conferences that I was attending. A mutual fund, which is one of the top mutual funds in India. It was a 2,000 crore mutual fund. I applied there as a 19-year-old and got it. And that is the time when I learned about that. Similarly, I wanted to explore more, and I went into investment banking when I was 20. All of this without going to college. I was just giving exams at my college so that at the end I have a BCom degree. And I kept on exploring, I kept on reading, I kept on talking to so many people. But still, at the end of the day, I was not satisfied. Like, I knew somewhere these structured jobs, or this particular mindset of doing a job was not made for me. I wanted to create something. So initially, I had the idea of creating a business, and I wanted to do something which was also creative. So in my third year, I abruptly quit my investment banking job, and I did advertising for a month. And then I realized that that was too creative for me. So, from almost 2.5 years of doing something which was in the financial sector, reading so much about it, attending investment conferences, I took that decision to join advertising. And my point of telling my entire journey is that I kept on exploring, I kept on reading, I kept on working hard, but I didn't give in until and unless I found something that I love. Now, when I was done with my college, at that juncture, I knew one thing. I wanted to work for myself. I wanted something which had a lot of research in it. I wanted something which was creative. So during the lockdown, I was actually supposed to go for my master's, but then that could not happen because of COVID. So during the lockdown, I started making videos on YouTube. And there also I started experimenting, started exploring, and I loved it. And I'm getting amazing response for it because, it is so unique to me that no one else has it. No one else is doing what I'm doing. So that's been my extremely so yeah, thanks for that. So that's been my extremely, upwards and downwards journey. By the time I'm 22 today, I went from doing research and reading on my own to being working for a mutual fund to investment banking to advertising, and today I am a digital content creator and still studying for my CFA. Just 1 second, Anushka. Anchit, can you please turn off the annotation?
Wait.
Anchit, are you there?
Yeah, I'm doing it.
Hello? Yeah. The screen sharing is off? Yeah, the screen sharing is off for now. Anchit, are you there on the call?
Yeah, I'm here.
So the moment you share the screen, can you turn off the drawing annotation?
Yeah, let me check once. Okay. Now.
Yeah. There's a bar on the top. There's a toolbar.
Disable annotation for others, no?
Yeah, disable annotation and use the eraser to take it off. Yeah, thanks. Perfect. All right. Yeah, let's continue, Anushka. All right, could we get the next slide, please? Sure.
Yeah, sure. Is it visible?
Yeah. So that was my journey, and throughout my journey and a lot of research, a lot of reading, and talking to a lot of people from different backgrounds, I came across certain observations. I came across certain patterns and certain things that were happening in the real world of how the work is changing and how we as individuals who don't exactly fit into conventional careers can still find a living and can do amazingly at that. So, first observation that I made was the work scenario has constantly changed throughout so many years. Initially, there was an industrial economy. Now, in an industrial economy, people or labor is a resource. So, for any resource, people had to be a commodity. As in, people were not seen as individuals, but they were seen as a group of people who are meant to work in factories. I'm sorry, there's something on the screen. Yeah. Perfect. Right. So, and in factories, the end product was something which had to be similar. All the products were same. So the labor, also the work that they were doing, the characteristics, the qualities they were supposed to have, those also had to be exactly same. So people were a commodity there. Work was standardized. So that's why how our today our schools, our colleges are made in a structure that makes the course design very rigid and makes us believe or makes us trained for that particular schedule, being disciplined, being motivated all the time to do the work that others are telling us to do. So this rigid structure of work that was there was suited for an industrial economy which was there before. The growth that has happened till now was because of factories, because of mass production, and labor and us individuals in those industrial economy didn't have any individuality. We ourselves were not contributing anything. We were a part of a process, and that is what is changing now. Can you please have the next slide? So, if you don't fit into traditional roles, that's okay, because those traditional roles were not made for individuals, was made for a group of people who were supposed to work in factories. Next slide, please. And now we have shifted from an industrial economy to a passionate economy. Now, now the industrial economy and the factories are here. They are not going anywhere. There are still those rigid colleges, college courses, school courses, and you will have to go through that because that's the system that is there. But if you don't fit into it, there is this parallel passion economy that is evolving, which we can be a part of, which we can, get mastery of and earn a living through it. So, in a passion economy, what happens is every individual is good at something. We all have heard this very famous
quote of Einstein saying that if you judge a fish on its skills of climbing a tree, you're going to make him or the fish believe that he's stupid for its entire life. And similar to that, every individual is different. A fish will excellently swim, but a monkey will excellently climb. And in a standardized test of climbing a tree, monkey will obviously do better than a fish. But now in a passion economy, fish can swim the way it wants and the monkey can climb. Similarly, I can create content. Someone who's an artist can be an artist. Someone who's a dancer can be a dancer. And we can use these skills to earn a living and to do wonderfully in it. So now, also in industrial economy, the jobs were very standardized, as in the process was similar. You have to go in, you have to work on machines, the work was same, and everything which is standardized, which is same work repeatedly done over and over again, with the help of technology, robots and machines, that is getting automated. So now the parallel economy that is coming up is not something which is through people who are misfits or rebels. That is actually something which is going to grow into a bigger phase, because all the jobs that can be automated will be automated, and most of the jobs in the industrial sector are going to get automated, but not in the 5-10 years, but at least in the next 20-30 years. So that is why we need to be unique and creative, and which is amazing for us, because we want to be unique and creative. Everyone has something in them which they can monetize and they can make a living out of, which they have absolutely fun doing. Can we have the next slide, please? So then, okay, all this said and done, how do you find that unique career? How do you evolve in this passion economy? How do you make money out of this? Because at the end of the day, everything I say is okay, but if you can't make money and if you can't sustain, nothing matters. Can we have the next slide, please?
Hello, Anushka. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Just 1 second. Anchit, I'll share the screen.
Yeah, that will be better because of stream pay videos are not showing, because I'm sharing the screen at the same time it's getting shared in the.
Sure. I'll do it. Cool.
I'm stopping share then.
Yep. All right. Unable to move to the next one. Just 1 second.
Seventh slide.
7th?
Yeah.
Sure. This works?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Thank you.
No worries.
So I am someone who is good at research and logic and analytics, but I'm also someone who wants to be creative. In their individual fields, when I was in investment banking and portfolio management, I was above average. When I was in advertising, I was above average. But when I combined these two things together, that gave me a differentiating factor. So this combining of unique skills is something which is called as a talent stack. Now, everyone, trust me when I say this, everyone has a talent stack. And all you need to do is follow these 3 steps that are written here. So first, you need to experiment. Now, throughout my school and throughout my college, I experimented a lot. I talked to so many people, I read so many things, and I kept on seeing and kept on doing those things as well. So I came to know eventually that no, this is not for me. I need to find something else. I relentlessly experimented. And then after I found something that I was good at, so now if you see my Instagram, it's been getting attraction. Getting traction for the last, say, 1 month. But I've actually been making content ever since I was in investment banking. Ever since in my 3rd year of college, I've been writing blogs, I've been doing shows for people, I've been making videos for startups in this entire industry. So over the years, I got knowledge of how to make that content, of how to present it to the audience, what the audience likes, and how do you exactly market it. So this, after the experimentation phase, I understood what I like to do, and then eventually I went down deep into it, and now I'm in the process of gaining expertise. Now, and then once you are done, once you have expertise in the field, you become irrepressible. Now there are so many content creators on business economics on so many platforms, but then why is my channel only growing at the pace that it is growing? It went from 10,000 to 22,000 in a matter of 4 days. Why was that? Why did that happen? It is because I am doing something which I am good at, and that is something which there is a need for, and no one else can do it because that is so unique to me. That talent stack of being good at analytics, research, reading news every day, and the talent stack of being creative, converting that news into something which is, in a music reel, I'm not even saying anything and I have to put across a point. So that entire thing, that entire process, no one knows it because it's not taught anywhere. It's not being done. I made the process myself. I did it over and over and over again. I'm still getting expertise at it. And that is why my page today and me as a creator, I am irrepressible. Now, I'm not saying that I am the absolute best at this. I am still at a very early stage. I will have to do it for so many years more to actually, truly become someone who no one can replace. So let me give you a better example of what a talent stack is, a different person with a talent stack. So talent stack is when you pool a talent into a skill set which is unique to you, right? And has a commercial value. Steve Jobs. Now we've all heard of him, right? Now Steve Jobs was good at technology. He was good at coding. He was good at the hardware aspect of it as well. But you know what else Steve Jobs was really good at? That was art. He was a very good artist. He knew calligraphy, and he also knew, and he was a minimalist. So he knew sleek designs, and he knew how to give people a feeling of being superior in terms of product quality. So he combined his artist aspect of himself with the technology that he had and made the iPhone and made the iPad and made the iPod. All these things you see on your phone when you have different fonts. That was because Steve Jobs was really amazing at calligraphy. You see the sleek design that iPhone has. That is because Steve Jobs was a stern believer of minimalistic design, and he actually was practicing that through his art. He combined these two talent that he had, things that he was good at, and became someone who was undoubtedly irrepressible and made and is today a trillion-dollar company, in fact. So this is how you find those small talents that you have. How is technology and art related otherwise? How is financial knowledge and doing research related to making videos, short 30-second videos related? They are not in the traditional sense. But when you combine them together, and when you see that it has a commercial value, as in the thing that you're doing is there is a need for it. That is when you actually find a career which is so unique to you, which you absolutely have fun doing. You can do over and over again, and that is how you get a place in this passion economy. I'll also give you the example of person who coined this term talent stack. Can we have the next slide, please? So talent stack was actually coined by Scott Adams. He was the person who gave the name of talent stack. Now, Scott Adams was also like me. He was very average or above average at business analysis. He was doing a 9 to 5 job before, but somehow he was not very happy with it. And at the same time, he was someone who was very interested in art. He used to draw comics and all every day. He would, read about it. He would see different comics as well. And then at the same time, he was someone who's brilliant with humor. He was, he would, in amongst friends, he was always a funny, goofy person. So he had these three talents with him. He combined all of them together, and that is how he became a business comic strip writer. Now, how many business comic strip writers are there? If you go to a career counselor, if you talk to a teacher, no one even will tell you the possibility of this career option, that is a comic strip writer, that too only niche to business. But because he had that knowledge of business, he had the knowledge of drawing, and he was generally a funny person. He combined together and made this comic strip called as Dilbert. And today his net worth is $75 million, all because of Dilbert. That was his comic strip. So, when you get that irreplaceable career that you are in, when you find what you're unique at, and when you combine those things and make your talent stack and monetize it, that is when you actually make money and become wealthy. And that is possible absolutely in the passion economy as well. Can we please get the next slide? So, how does this finding your talent stack help? Now, there are two things to it. When you find your talent stack, these are essentially things that you like doing. Now, I like researching and I like making videos. So, what happens here is that I can do this forever. I can do it Monday to Sunday. I can work for 12 to 14 hours a day. No one will tell me anything. But if there is someone else who's trying to copy me, who's trying to make videos like me, the way I am doing, and he does not genuinely like it, he will probably he'll work a lot, he'll do a lot for the next 1-2 years, but eventually he'll get bored of it, he'll get frustrated, it'll feel like work for him and it won't come from within. So he will not be able to do it for a long term. But I, on the other hand, because I love doing it so much, I can play this game infinitely. I can make videos and research forever, for any day, any time, and for so many years ahead. I plan to do this because this is something which utilizes all my skills, and these are the things that I love doing. So when you find your talent stack, and when you realize that that is something you really want to do, you are doing it. Is not work for you, it is play for you. You're doing it continuously every day for so many years. It is imperative, it is bound to happen that you become excellent at it, and you are going to outdo anyone and everyone else for whom it is just a job or just a chore, and they don't really enjoy it, and it's not their true talent stack. And the second thing is to achieve a state of flow. Now, state of flow is a concept which states that the work that you're doing should satisfy or challenge you little. If it is too, should challenge you little, so that when you're doing it, you enjoy doing it, you are in the state of flow, so you get a lot of ideas, you're working really well, there is deep concentration, you don't get distracted. So that is called a state of flow. Now, when does state of flow happen? So state of flow actually happens when the work that you're doing, along with the work that you're doing, challenges you enough. Now, it is not something which is too difficult that you get frustrated and you give up. And it is not something which is too easy that you do it in your sleep and you're not really being challenged. Because as human beings, we need our days to be full of something which we are excited to do about. There is like a little uncertainty which is there, that will I be able to do it? Will I not be able to do it? And that is when that challenge comes in, and then we are able to figure out how to get that work done, get over that challenge, get over that obstacle, and that is when you're truly satisfied. So when you find your talent stack, what you like to do, your skill set is something that all that challenges you a little, and it is something that helps you or makes you just lost. You are lost in the process, and that is when you make most amazing, beautiful pieces, or the most amazing work is actually done that time. So Einstein was a big believer of state of flow. Einstein, as well as Beethoven, who used to compose beautiful pieces when he was in a state of flow. This state of flow is a period of time when you are so in sync with your work, you're so happy, you're so in love with the process, that you keep on making, you keep on creating, you keep on doing your work. And that is how your talent stack helps you. It helps you to do your work infinitely for so many years, that you defeat all the competition which is not doing it truly from their heart. And second, you achieve a state of flow, so that the work that you're doing it continuously, you're enjoying it, and you're producing it so beautifully that the amount as well as the pleasure that you get is also something which is amazing. Can we get the next slide, please? So now, everything, all the things that I said about the talent stack, about passionate economy, that is all good. But at the end of the day, you need to make money, you need to earn a living. And the world is a system. There are processes, there are the way the world works, and that is not going anywhere. This passion economy is coming parallelly to the industrial economy, which is already there. So how do you be realistic with this process? How do you ensure that you're not going to get lost? So the first thing that you should do is is there a commercial value for what you're doing? Now, if you're doing something and say it is something that you love doing, but there is no need for it in the society, or you can't even create that need in the society for what you are doing, then it does not make sense for you to pursue it, because you won't be able to earn. And being in the society that we are, earning is absolutely important. You can't be blindfolded to that fact. Like, there are people who are madly in work with their work, and they're sacrificing everything and not earning enough. But then at the end of the day, you need monetary, you need that money in hand, because you are a part of a family. You will have a family eventually, and you'll have to take care of them. So you need to find something that has a commercial value, either today or 10 years down the line. So then the second question you ask is, will there be a need 10 years down the line for that? If you're doing something which is not very common today but will be in the future, then it makes sense for you to invest your time today. But at the same time, if you're doing something which has value today but won't have 10 years down the lane, then it does not make any sense to do that. So say, for example, you are someone who is learning how to who says something like, if someone is working in coding and is creating very basic websites, probably 10 years down the lane, the entire process of making websites going to be automated, because it's a process. The code has to be written, and then when you plug in the APIs and all, it's a very automatic thing. So 10 years down the line, there might not be a need for that. But then, so you need to essentially find, and you need to question it, that what the talent stack that I have today, will it be in need 10 years down the line as well? Like, 10 years down the line, will I be creating content? If I tell you honestly, no, that it's not a long-term thing. No one is famous on YouTube or Instagram forever. And that is why now like after 2-3 years, I will have to pivot. I will have to find something which is around content creation. So that thing also you need to keep in mind when you're starting with the process. Either know that what you're doing or what you're investing time in today will have value, say 10, 20, 30 years down the line as well. Or else, if you can innovate it or can change it in something else which will have value later on as well. And the third is, are you truly passionate about it, or is just a phase? When you find your talent stack, sometimes we can mistake something because you're truly under the influence of someone. Now, when I went into advertising, I had actually watched a movie which is absolutely stupid. I had watched that movie and I thought, this seems so cool. She's coming up with these ideas in her sleep. She's, going on all these fancy dates and all. And then from that, she's getting ideas and she's putting and making ads out of it. I can do that. I can absolutely do that. It's amazing. And then I started reading on advertising. I started talking with people. I was romanticizing the idea of becoming a person who works in the advertising industry. That was not something which I was truly passionate about. It was literally just a phase which ended so quickly. In a month, I was fed up with it. So I was lucky that it ended in a month. But say if it lasted for 2-3 years, if I was, in that thing, doing it continuously, but not really enjoying it, you need to ask yourself that, can I do this for the long term? Do I actually enjoy this? Is it something I'm doing because I'm under the influence of someone or something, or I'm under under pressure for someone? You need to be absolutely passionate about it. Period. That is how you can work the infinite game as well. Can we get the next slide, please? And this entire process of working in the passion economy is not very easy. It's a lot of hard work. It is being rejected so many times. It is reaching out to so many people. It is being shown down by so many people. Every day is a challenge. You don't know where you are because you're a beginner every day, and you are trying to find something for yourself in the experimenting phase. It is a lot of hard work. It is working endlessly, tirelessly every single day of your life. There are no weekends for you. There are no holidays for you. You have to be working, thinking, doing your thing 24/7. Second, it requires patience. I found something that I love doing after 3 years of experimentation, actually, even more than that. Even during my school days, I tried lots of 4 years of experimentation. I found something, and now also I am not at a stage where I can say that I've made it. It is a very, 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 very long way for me, and what I'm doing is not, it has not been done before. So I will have to create everything which is there. I will have to tell people what I'm doing, there is a need for it, what I'm doing has value, what I'm doing is required by the people and has value in it. So for me to monetize what I'm doing and to earn money from what I'm doing is also going to take a lot of time. There are, and then people will keep getting bored of what I'm doing, so I will have to experiment also a lot here. I will have to keep doing things differently. It is some This is something which is there not only in content creation but with every unique career that you are going to find for yourself. So these three things, hard work, patience, and experimentation, is going to be something which is not only there initially, it's going to be there throughout your life. As an entrepreneur, as an artist, as a creator, these challenges will come every day, and you will have to but you are so passionate about it that it is not going to feel work. You're going to enjoy not being certain. You're going to enjoy figuring out everything as you go about on the way. So it is difficult. It is not all sunshine and flowers. You will have to face a lot of hurdles, a lot of obstacles. There is parental pressure as well. When you do something, when I went from being an investment banker to a content creator, like literally making 30 seconds video and dancing like this, my parents were not happy about it. I did it. I told them to give me 6 months, and I was studying for CF, and I tried to convince them in a way that till the time I'm studying, I will do this. If it does not take off, I will go to a conventional job again. So this parental pressure is also something which is going to happen. You're going to face a lot of uncertainty and doubt. I remember I was there in a conference once, and before, it was a startup conference. A lot of startup creators were there, and we were talking amongst ourselves, and they asked me what I do. Before that, I would be so proud of saying that I'm an investment banker. Back then I had only 1,500 followers, and they asked me what I do, and I was so ashamed of myself that how do I say I'm a content creator? So that self doubt is also something which is going to be there. But can we get the next slide? Can we get the next slide, please? But in the end, it's absolutely worth it, because today I am in a phase, I'm in a position, I'm in a state of flow for creating content. I know I can do this forever, and I have figured out what works somewhere down the line. I'm in love with it, and you will also find something if you are doing that experimentation, if you are working hard, and if you keep getting expertise in what you are doing. You are going to get it, and you are going to be in this constant state of ecstasy, which will consume you in a way that you become so happy. And trust me, I'll just end with what I've written. In the end, it's worth it. Everything is worth it. So that is all with my presentation. I hope I made sense with what I was saying, and it was not too confusing. This is something which I have been this is something which I've been reading for so many years. I've talked to people, and I've come towards these terms that I've said, and these observations that I've shared with you. It's been my learning for 4 years that I try to summarize in this, and I hope it helps you all, and you're able to find something which you love doing and which you're truly passionate about. Should we take the question answers?
Yes. Thank you so much, Anushka. I think I've had some incredible learnings. Let's dive right into the Q&A round. Yeah, guys, any questions? Please raise your hand or drop me a question in the chat box. I will take it up. Okay. So, Bhuvan has a question. I don't know what my passion is because I love almost every option that's out there and with respect to my career laid out in front of me. I'm trying to decide for almost 2 years now, but I'm reaching nowhere. How do I solve for it?
I can absolutely relate to your journey. When I was in like between so many careers, I did not know where I was going. I actually felt like I was being lazy, or I was not, putting the effort that was required, or I was just being spoiled because I was leaving everything that I was doing. I did not find where I wanted to go eventually. But trust yourself, it will take time. If you don't like it, just be honest with yourself. If you're putting in the effort, if you're putting in the time, but you still don't enjoy it, if you still are not getting the results, then probably it is not for you. If you have the luxury to still experiment and change, do that. It will come to you eventually. It'll take a lot of patience, a lot of hard work, and a little bit of luck, and you will get it. Trust me on that. Just don't give up. Keep on doing it.
Absolutely. Another question. Okay, Bhuvan says, hey, I'm in my 12th. So it's like I've got to decide whether I need to go into medical or engineering. I'm going in for medical as bio is a very interesting subject, but I'd love to get into engineering uh, just because I have, just because it's a dream, but I don't know exactly what to do. How do I find my calling?
Talk to people who are there in the industry. I'll suggest talk to people who are there initially, like students who are studying it, and talk to people who have been in the industry for the last 10 to 15 years. So you will get how the studying aspect of it is, and then you'll get how the work will look like 10 to 15 years down the line. Talk to them about their experiences and how their typical day looks like, how studying it is, what are the different soft skills that are required in both of the fields from people who've been doing it for 10, 15 years. They will be able to guide you better. And just, talk to as many people as you can and get insights. You can actually read a lot about there is a series on YouTube, some channel called A Day in My Life, in which they show career options. You can go to YouTube and see those videos also. So that's, I hope it helps. Best of luck for that.
Yes. Another question, pretty interesting. Is it possible to not have a passion for anything?
See, at the end of the day, life is meaningless. If you don't have a passion, you really are drifting along with the flow. I am someone who believes that everyone out there has something that they love doing on a daily basis. I'm not talking about sleep, I'm not talking about eating. Something which is a little challenging, which gets them going. And it is all about experimenting and finding it, because life is long. You have to live for so many years. If you don't find passion, if you don't find something which is fulfilling to you, it's not going to make sense for you anymore. I know you're very young right now, and you are in a phase where you don't really understand, or you probably will get the maturity in a few years that you need something to define your life as. You need to define how your 5, 10, 15 years will go or look like. And if you have something you're passionate about and that defines it, you will be satisfied and you will be happy. So having a passion, finding a passion is actually the secret to getting a happy, fulfilling life.
Absolutely. What about those who want to do something in the field of content creation but are not getting enough views?
The first video I uploaded was 13 views. I kept on making videos. Like, I started making videos on personal finance, long form videos. Then I made long form videos on business strategy. Then I made text based posts on Instagram. I made finance ranting reels. I made finance current affairs where I was just talking. 6 months. I went from 600, 700 followers, which was basically my friends and family, to 1,500 followers. And my views were 2,000, 3,000. My YouTube still has 500, 600 views only. I've not figured out YouTube. So it's what I've realized is, and for like 6 months, nothing happened. 2 weeks, I went from 1,500 to today I'm like almost at 29, 30,000 views. It's and then it'll stop now again, and then it'll take off again. So views are like, it'll be stagnant. There'll be a huge flip, again stagnant, huge flip, again stagnant, huge flip. So in the process of content creation, It sounds very lame, but be consistent, have a lot of patience, and just keep creating. There is nothing else. There's an audience for everything. And when you are doing it, when you're experimenting, you find what audience want as well. So just keep doing, keep creating. Don't worry about views. At least initially, just don't. Just keep doing.
Absolutely. Anushka, this personally is something that comes from my own observation. Do you want to add to the answer by telling everybody about how did the jump happen from 10K followers to 20K followers in 4 days, if I'm not wrong?
So what happened was I made this video on Starbucks, which was for me very, very like when I made the video, I thought I was going to lose followers over it because in the end there's a speech error in it. I am saying a word incorrectly. So I thought I was going to lose followers in it, and that video was something that Starbucks was selling, was not passing the GST benefits to the consumers, and was charged 1 crore, 1.4 crore as fine. Now I thought 1.4 crore as a fine, like people like for Starbucks, it's nothing. So, but I still went ahead, and for the sake of consistency, I uploaded that video. And what happened was people saw that I think initially one of my friends who himself is a content creator, he shared that video, and he had some 100,000 plus followers. So on his profile, a lot of people saw. Then from their profile, a lot of people saw. People with 1 million followers then started sharing that video. That video went viral and today has some around 2.3 million views. That one viral video gave me almost 60 to 70% of initial like organic growth and organic reach that I had. And because that video was there, okay, understood. A lot of people get viral videos, but even after that, for people to truly click on the follow button, you need to have good content as well. So when I was making, I was not sure if what I was doing was right, but people saw it, people loved it. There was a day when I got 250 DMs in one day. That everyone was telling me, what amazing concept. So simply you're explaining stuff in 30 seconds. I know everything. I'm a fashion student. I wanted to know about this. There was no source and you're giving it to me so easily. So that is when I was satisfied a little that, okay, what I was doing was unique, was something which had value, and people were liking it. So that one viral video and an entire feed full of content which people liked made them eventually follow. Then there were so many, I think at least 4 to 5 people with 1 million followers, above 1 million followers. They shared not just a Starbucks video, but different videos as well. So today, actually, I did not even realize it, but today I saw that my friend actually pointed out to me that Ranveer Alvadia, who by the name of Beer Biceps, he follows me. So many people, I don't even know, I don't want to mention it. You can actually check it out on my thing. So many famous people are watching my content. He actually said, Ranveer messaged that I have powerful content, good luck. And that was like validation for me. So many people, so many comedians found my content humorous. I was never a funny person, but I was always sarcastic and they loved it. They reached out to me and I'm helping one of them make reels for them. He's a comedian and he wants me to help him make reels. So it just needs one viral video and a good feed. Just consistently uploading good content, and that is it.
Damn it. That's so inspiring. And and
it's a lot of luck also. In content creation and generally in life, luck plays a huge factor that you just have to accept it and be patient with it.
Absolutely. I think that's very, very consequential. Do you have any tips for people who want to basically start up something of their own?
So it looks very fancy to say that I'm a startup, I'm a startup founder, I'm an entrepreneur. As someone who's worked in investment banking, I questioned, why do people do that? You have a crunch of money, your idea is something which is new, you have to figure out everything on your own, you don't have resources, you're working tirelessly for years without money, without validation. You are like crazy optimistic because that idea might work, might not work. For 2-3 years, you won't get any result. But if you want to start something, if you see there is a need in the society, if you see that you can do this every day and you have the bandwidth to explore and the financial comfort of not earning for, say, a few years, then go for it, because that is where exponentially all the money has been made. If you see the top 10 list of people who are rich today, 4 of them have become rich very recently, and all of them, they were startups initially. They started from garages, small shops, and are $1 trillion, multi-billion dollars company today. So the only tip that I will have is work extremely hard. Like, you should know that it is not easy. It is extremely difficult. You will have to be very smart. You will have to be book smart and street smart. And third, you will have to be extremely rational also in the process. So it's just all that thing. If you think that you're truly passionate about it, just do it and just keep doing it. You will eventually get it. And it's a lot of hard work, but it's a lot of fun as well.
Most definitely. Like that's very true. All right. So another question is that I'm interested in doing cinematography and I enjoy that work, but I'm also pursuing science and I plan to go for an engineering degree. But how do you go about clubbing if you have two passions?
I'll give you the example of this person who works in my co-working space. He is an engineer by profession, and he also is a cinematographer. He is actually right now working on a sci-fi movie, and the sci-fi concept he's getting because of his engineering background, and because he was working, he had the funds to make the movie, and through his circle of when he was working, he had the network to raise more money as well. But because he was passionate about cinematography, he never learned it professionally. Through experimentation, through just watching videos, he he did that on the side. And today he's the director of the movie. He's also shooting the movie, and the concept, the scripting part also he did. The concept was also his because of his engineering background. So this is one way how he clubbed it. I'm sure there are other ways as well. There are all these engineering, or there are all these financial startups which want content to be made and to be shot. You can probably shoot that videos and script those videos for them, because they don't know how to make that technical knowledge of a product into a video. So that is another example. There are endless opportunities when you have these very peculiar interests, two different vaguely different industries, and you join them. It is difficult to get commercial value for that, but once you find it, there's no one else who can do it. Like, how many people do you know today who are interested in engineering and cinematography? So that actually makes you unique. Keep working hard, keep looking for opportunities, approach a lot of people, and you will eventually, try to get a way to combine them.
Yeah, absolutely. There's another question from Sarya. What to do if you're confused between two of your favorite careers that are really important to you and you think you're really good at both of them? How do you go about picking?
So, again, if you're really good at them, if you're really passionate about them, first, if you can club them together and find something unique, do that. If not, spend six months doing both of them. List down the pros and cons. See the long-term value of all. See how much you're going to earn in both. See if the career is something that aligns with what you want from your life, and then make a choice. At the end of the day, you will have to experiment and list down all the pros and cons. There are no right answers here, and there are no wrong answers here. It's just something you will have to give a preference to depending upon your criteria of and what you want from life.
Yes. All right. There's another question, more like pretty specific to investment banking. What all concrete steps did you take to get into investment banking? That's A. And second, did you enjoy it? And how did the whole process look like?
So specific steps that I took is, first, I started studying for CF and had given my level 1 before I joined. No, actually, I was still studying for level 1 and I gave my level 1 when I was still while working. I did financial modeling course because in investment banking, you have to work a lot on Excels and make financial models, which are basically putting companies' number into Excel sheets. So I did financial modeling course from this institute called as EduPristine. Then for the last one and a half year, I had been reading a lot about companies, industries. So I had a lot of reports which I had written myself on pharmaceutical industry, on cement industry, on telecom industry. So that showed that I had the basic knowledge of how to research a company and industry. So with these skills, I was able to apply to a lot of investment banks, and luckily I got selected also. So company research, I already had knowledge. Financial modeling, I did specifically with the purpose of joining an investment bank. And CFA also I did because I wanted to enter into bigger companies in finance. So that is how I prepared for it. While working for it, I realized that I had to do a lot of research, and I had to figure out where the company was going to go forward to make the financial models, to give the valuation, and to basically estimate how much the company was worth, if I put it in very simple words. So it was a lot of analysis, it was very logical. So that part was interesting to me. But at the same time, it was very rigid. There was not a lot of creativity. It was a lot of numbers and nothing. It required nothing more of me. I was just, number crunching on my laptop the entire day. So it was interesting, but at the end of the day, it was not fulfilling for me. So that is, but there are people who love doing it, and people who, are only logical and who want more analytics and who love, playing with numbers and all. They love it, but it was not something which was there, which utilized everything that I wanted to do in life. So that was my experience with it.
All right. Yeah. Looking at the time, I'm going to take the last question. Okay, and this pretty much sums it up. It's very, very wholesome. How to balance love, family, career, all at the same time.
I'm probably not the right person to ask this, but I think I am someone who's madly passionate about working. Like I don't differentiate between Sundays, and I work continuously, and I try doing different things and figuring out how to do work for myself. But then what I've realized is that over time you need, like, your work is there, but you need to have that human connections as well. So now recently, like extremely recently, I have started socializing more. So family is something, my family, we four of us are very close. So for breakfast, for dinner, we are together. We are always interacting. So I'm close with my family. So you can family, your home only, or if you're even working, every day talk to them. Like, family comes first. You need to talk to your parents and your siblings and your grandparents every day. And when it comes to your friends and your love life, as you grow up, as you mature, it just will fit into it. Like, you will probably have to put in some effort on that side. It requires a little maintenance. Well, not maintenance, it'll come from within. But just, when you have your priorities set, when you find someone, or you have friends who are like really important, if you find someone who you really love, time automatically you make it for them. So it's not something which, you can plan ahead for. If you can schedule it, you can, it'll just, you just have to set your priorities at time. You just have to see what you want from your life and how much time you want to give to all. It's a learning process for me. Like, I still skip 50 to 60% of all social meetings that I have because of all my work commitments. But I'm also trying to learn that, and eventually you will figure things out. Like, I'm actually, as I said, not the right person to ask. I am still struggling with it, but what I've realized is that as your priorities change in life, as you grow, you will figure it out. It's just a matter of making time for things that matter to you.
I mean, that was incredible. What a lovely note to end the workshop on. Yes, coming to the end of it, thank you so much, Anushka.
Thank you, Supriya, and thank you to everyone who's attended the session. If you have any questions further, also, you can always reach out to me on my Instagram. You can even ask Supriya. She will convey the questions to me. Thank you so much for joining on a Saturday evening. I am so grateful for that, and I'm so grateful for FamPay for letting me talk about my journey and my learnings till now.
Thank you so much, Anushka, once again for that overwhelmingly refreshing workshop. I personally had so many consequential learnings today, and I hope each one of you present here has too. With this, we come to the end of today's workshop. On behalf of the entire fam at FamPay, I'd like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to each one of you who took out time to attend this workshop. We hope we were able to provide some value to you through this little initiative of ours. We'd love to know your reviews and feedback on this workshop. Our social media handles and mails are always open to you. On Instagram, we are at the rate fampay.in. Anushka, you can reach out to at the rate Anushka Rathod.
Anushka K. Rathod. Sorry.
Anushka K. Rathod. Okay. Anushka, do you want to put it in the chat box for everyone?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Sure.
Yeah.
I can see it. Anushka K. Rathod. Yeah. It's there for everyone in the chat box. All right. And we're now ready to wrap this workshop up, and you may all start exiting the link. It was great having you here, Anushka. Thank you so much for sharing your journey and telling us more about it, giving us an insight into your life. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Goodbye and good day to all of you. Have a lovely weekend.
Bye.
Bye-bye.